Well, good afternoon. I will not gavel right now, but I do want to call this meeting officially to order. Again, good afternoon. Welcome to the first meeting of the Assembly Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections for the 81st legislative session. Madam Secretary, will you please begin with the roll?
Assemblywoman Dickman.
Here.
Assemblyman Frierson.
Here.
Assemblywoman Gonzalez.
Here.
Assemblywoman Howdigi.
Here.
Assemblyman Levitt.
Here.
Assemblyman Matthews.
Here.
Assemblyman MacArthur.
Here.
Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno.
Here.
Assemblywoman Thomas.
Here.
Assemblywoman Torres.
Here.
Chair Miller.
Here. Madam Secretary, please indicate that all committee members are present. I also would like to welcome anyone that is viewing online with us right now. Today for our agenda for our committee, we will have committee and staff introductions, adoption of committee policies, and a presentation from our committee policy analyst. Before we go further, I'd like to address a few housekeeping announcements. First, this is the Assembly Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, and we are scheduled to begin committee every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. We will do our best to begin right on time. Agenda items may be taken out of order or placed in a different order. An agenda item may be removed, or the discussion of an item on the agenda may also be delayed as necessary. It is our goal of accessibility continues even though we are now holding committees virtually. As a result, additional avenues have been added. If you wish to testify on a bill, please pre-register online through the link provided on the agenda for the meeting. Registration opens when the agenda is posted to the Nevada Legislature's website. Upon successful registration, registrants will receive a telephone number and a meeting ID. This will include instructions for joining the meeting so that you're able to call in and testify or make public comment. In order to have an accurate record and count of participants, we do ask that each individual person registers individually. So please, not sharing the number, but actually making sure that everyone registers. We also will have public comment at the end of each meeting. We ask that public comment be kept to 2 minutes per individual. This gives us an opportunity for everyone to be able to, for more people that are interested in speaking, to be accommodated. So again, speakers are urged to limit their comments to 2 minutes, and also to avoid repetition, that if not to make a comment that's already been shared previously. When you make public comments, they can also be sent in writing in addition to actually orally testifying. And finally, asking everyone in the committee or anyone that would be participating to turn off any electronic devices, especially cell phones, or put them on silent mode during the meeting. I would like to take a few minutes before we go further to actually introduce the committee members and staff, committee staff. Members, each of you, if you would, I would like you to briefly introduce yourselves, starting with not only your name, but also which district you represent, and then maybe a moment or two, whatever you would like to share with the committee. I would like to begin with our Vice Chair, Assemblywoman Sandra Howdigi.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Assemblywoman Sandra Howdigi. I represent Assembly District 41 in Southern Nevada. This is my third term in the legislature, and I was fortunate enough to chair legislative operations and elections last session. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'll ask Speaker Frierson
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Jason Frierson, Assemblyman in District 8 and Speaker of the Nevada State Assembly, and very, very proud to be here with you all in what I think is the most important thing that we do as legislators.
Thank you, Speaker Frierson. Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno.
Hello, everyone. I'm Assemblywoman Danielle Monroe Moreno. I represent Assembly District 1, which is in Southern Nevada, primarily in the city of North Las Vegas. This is my third legislative session and my third session on the Committee of Legislative Operations and Elections. And I'm looking forward to the work that we're going to do this session.
Thank you. Assemblyman Levitt.
Thank you, Chair Miller. Glenn Levitt, Assembly District 23, southern tip of the state. So the farthest district from where we're sitting right now, probably. I was fortunate enough to serve on this committee last session and really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to doing good work here this session.
Thank you. Assemblywoman Dickman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Jill Dickman, and I represent District 31, which is about half of Sparks and the North Valleys of Reno. So I get to drive in the snow every day. Let's hope it's not snow every day. But I was first elected in 2014, and then I missed a couple of sessions, and I'm just very honored to be back. And I did not serve on Ledge Ops in 2015. So I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you better and to do our best to bolster the confidence of every Nevadan in our electoral process. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. Next, Assemblywoman Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hello, everyone. My name is Assemblywoman Cecilia Gonzalez, and I represent Assembly District 16, right in the heart of Las Vegas. I represent the Las Vegas Strip. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas as well is in my lovely district, and I'm really excited and looking forward to serving on this committee with all of you.
Thank you. Assemblyman Matthews.
Madam Chair, thank you very much. My name is Andy Matthews. I represent District 37, which is in northwestern Las Vegas, includes parts of Summerlin. This is my first legislative session, and it's an honor to be here. I look forward to serving with all of you.
Thank you. Assemblyman MacArthur.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Richard MacArthur. I represent Assembly District 4, which is in the far northwest part of Las Vegas. This is my fourth session, but I haven't been there every single year. I wasn't here last session. So I've been around for a while, about every other session. I'm looking forward to working with everyone on this committee. And I know and I realize that we all have some different ideas and belief systems and backgrounds, but hopefully we can all get together and work and get some good things done for the state of Nevada. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Assemblyman. And Assemblywoman Thomas.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Thank you. And Madam Vice Chair, I appreciate this honor of being here. This is my first session, and I am truly excited. I represent Assembly District 17 in beautiful North Las Vegas. And I am also a United States Air Force veteran. And again, honored to be here representing Assembly District.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. I am Brittany Miller, and I represent Assembly District 5, which is in the Midwestern area of the Valley and the Summerlin border, Summerlin and Lakes area. This is my third term in the Assembly and my second session on this committee. This is my first term chairing this committee, but I am thankful and appreciate the fact that we all still have the support and experience of our former chairwoman, Assemblywoman Howdige, who is now serving as vice chair. So very grateful to still have her with us. I am honored and thrilled to be chairing this committee. Again, all of the committees that we participate in are vital and important, but I really do appreciate the brevity of the work that we will do here. I know that, again, all of us are very passionate about certain bills and certain issues, and passionate whether we are committee members or Nevadans. We are very passionate about many of the issues that will be discussed here. And I respect all of the differences in opinions and approaches that we have in getting to certain goals. And I also believe that it is my job, and I will strive to create an atmosphere of mutual respect for everyone, where everyone has an opportunity to be heard, and everyone can voice their difference in opinions. Because again, our primary role as representatives is actually to listen. So that is definitely something that this committee, we will maintain fairness and respect for one another and for anyone that's presenting or testifying, and also always continue with the utmost of professionalism as we participate in this committee. With that, I also want to introduce our amazing, fabulous committee staff. Often I think of what we do here, it's pretty close to Hollywood production. We often, in a movie, we may see a few people in a certain scene and not realize it took 200 people behind the scenes to get those people in that shot or frame or even on stage. And so our committee staff here with LCB is just as amazing and just as crucial to helping all of the work get done. And so the first person I'd like to introduce is Bonnie Borda Hoeker. She serves as our committee manager. And of course, she is serving in her 7th session as a committee manager and her first time with legislative operations and elections. And what's so amazing is that she's actually still doing dual role with judiciary, which is already such an amazing, robust committee itself. So it's such a pleasure. And I've worked with her in judiciary for my first 2 sessions. So it was such an amazing pleasure that she also wanted to add this committee to her slate of responsibilities. With that, I need to backtrack a moment because it happened in our first committee this morning. So I guess it's just first day of committees, what's bound to happen is I did not forget, but maybe I just was trying to save the best for last and have an opportunity to introduce Assemblywoman Torres. So Assemblywoman Torres, please. I apologize for that.
Thank you, Chair. Not a problem at all. Hello, everybody. My name is Assemblywoman Selena Torres. I proudly represent Assembly District 3 in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm really excited to be on the Legislative Operations and Elections Committee, serving for a second time. I know that we got a lot of great work done last session under Vice Chair Haudegi, and I'm really excited to see the work that Chair Miller does this session.
Thank you for that, Assemblywoman Torres. But again, it won't be just the work that Chair Miller is doing. It will be the work that all of us as a committee are doing. So thank you for that. I will shift back to our committee staff and introduce Trinity Tom, who will serve as the committee assistant. And this will be her 4th legislative session and her first time staffing legislative operations and elections. In her free time, Trinity enjoys traveling and playing softball. Next, we have Jordan Green, who will serve as our committee secretary. This is Jordan's 4th session with the Nevada Legislature. She previously served as a proofreader for the Assembly and a paralegal for the legal division. She graduated from UNR with a dual major in English literature and French language, and later received a paralegal studies certificate through the UNR Extended Studies Program. Jordan is a self-proclaimed nerd, so this is self-proclaimed. When it comes to many things, and she enjoys learning about obscure legislative rules, procedures, and histories. We also have Kathleen Norris, who is a deputy legislative counsel in our legal division, and she will be serving as committee counsel. And then, of course, we have the most coveted Ms. Marshila Lyons, who is the Deputy Director of the Research Division and will be serving as our policy analyst. So thank you all to committee members and staff for all that you do. And again, we cannot recognize our committee staff enough for all that you will do to support us through this session. So with that, I'd like to get started. Next on the agenda is the committee policies. So we will we will take the adoption of the committee policies. They are currently posted on Nellis. And these policies are fairly standard from committee to committee and pretty close to what we had last session in the committee, but they also serve to complement the Assembly standing rules and joint standing rules that we adopted in the full Assembly. So I will give everyone a moment to review those suggested policies. Do we have any questions from any committee members on any of the policies?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the committee policies.
Thank you. I will accept that motion from our Vice Chair Howdige. Do we have a second?
Second. From Assemblywoman Torres.
Thank you, Assemblywoman Torres. I will accept that second from Assemblywoman Torres. Any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, to ensure accuracy, which is becoming the norm right now as we are continuing virtually, I'd like to take a roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Assemblywoman Dickman,
Yes.
Assemblyman Frierson,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Howdige,
Yes.
Assemblyman Levitt,
Yes.
Assemblyman Matthews,
Yes.
Assemblyman MacArthur,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Thomas,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Torres,
Yes.
Chair Miller.
Yes. And with that, the motion carries. I would like to move on to the next agenda item, which is a presentation of the committee brief. So our committee policy analyst, Ms. Marshila Lyons, will present the committee policy brief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, Marshila Lyons for the record. I am just going to briefly go over this brief. So it is in Nellis, uploaded for your review as we walk through this. I'm not going to read this to you. I'm going to highlight a couple of things that are in there and then just kind of point you to a couple of other things that you might be interested in following up on and taking a look at later. So the Legislative Committee on Operations and Elections in 2021 will have a very similar or the same jurisdiction that it had in prior sessions. The final authority for jurisdiction falls in the hands of Assembly leadership, but there typically is a kind of a continuum of the subjects that come to each committee. Elections, initiative and referendum petitions, campaign practices, the Nevada Legislature, Commission on Uniform State Law, statutory revision, ethics and government, constitutional amendments, and reapportionment and redistricting are the major topics that this committee covers. The committee also considers legislative business, including measures proposing interim studies and bills amending permanent statutory committees. Bills that have a significant fiscal impact may be concurrently referred to this committee, and then to the Committee on Ways and Means. And then I just want to point out that although the Senate and Assembly both have a Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, that their jurisdiction is different. So there may be bills that come to this committee that don't go to that one, and vice versa. So please don't be surprised by that. Because of many of the bills that this committee addresses related to interim work and legislative business are exempt, it's not uncommon for this committee to be especially busy during the last part of session after many other committees have finished their work. So after that second House committee passage, many times there are bills that need to resolve, the studies that each House wants to put forward, and other legislative affairs or business that need to be addressed. So keep that in mind as you're looking at how you're going to address or work your own bills, that this committee does tend to be a little bit busier during a time when other committees are either no longer meeting or not as busy. Just for some statistical information, the activities from the 2019 session, this committee received 53 measures, were referred to the committee, and 36 of those measures were adopted and reported to the governor. If you want more information about those measures and really any measure that was passed by the 2019 legislature, I would point you to the summary of legislation. And because this document is being provided electronically, there are a lot of links in here to other documents that give you more information. And so the summary of legislation is helpful if you kind of want to get an idea of what the major legislation was that was considered in this committee or any committee last session. That'll give you an overview of every bill that was passed. Just briefly, I want to talk about possible issues for the 2021 session. And you see in there just a rehash of some of the issues that were up in 2019 that you can review as well. But elections generally, topics of interest include campaign finance, polling place accessibility, election security, precinct management, voter canvassing, and election certification are topics that this committee will probably be addressing this time. Under the topic of ethics, the Commission on Ethics is responsible for enforcing the provisions of Chapter 281A, and Assembly Bill 65, which has already been pre-filed, proposes various changes related to ethics in government, and so that is a bill that this committee will be considering. Legislative operations, under that topic, proposals relating to legislative operations include proposed interim studies, the allocation of legislative measures, the conducting of legislative business, the repeal of obsolete statutes, and the statements of interest or concern to the Nevada Legislature. For the presidential primary elections, issues include considerations for shifting Nevada from a caucus state to a state selecting nominees in a presidential preference primary election. And for voter registration, issues may include those relating to the implementation of automatic voter registration, as well as the maintenance of voter registration rolls and same-day voter registration. Of course, there is a section in here that kind of gives you an update on reapportionment and redistricting and some of the work that was done by the interim committee, which was chaired by Senator Woodhouse, the committee to conduct an interim study of the requirements for reapportionment and redistricting in the state of Nevada. So I won't go over that now. The chair has graciously kind of put together a schedule to allow for some presentations on many of these topics, from ethics to elections and reapportionment and redistricting in the next few meetings. And so you'll have the experts before you who will present and be able to answer in detail questions that you may have about some of these things. And then finally, I just want to point out the publication section, that there are quite a few publications that have been prepared by the research division in the topics that under the jurisdiction of this committee, and they may be of interest to you as you're learning the topic. I didn't start off by saying that I've been with LCB for about 21 years, and this is my first time staffing a committee other than Health and Human Services. So I'm a little nervous, but hopefully you guys will be patient with me and bear with me. This is a new topic for me. I look forward to learning more and being able to help you all. I will be looking to the chair and many of the members, our vice chair as well, who have experience in working in this area to point me to good resources. And so, and I'm certainly available to do that for you. And so if you have questions, please reach out. If there's anything that I can answer for you or anything that we can do research for you on. And then of course, I'll just point out generally the research division, we can provide research for you, not just on topics related to this, but on any topic. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have a question that we can answer. That's all that I have. Chair Miller, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lyons. And also, as Ms. Lyons mentioned, we will have within the next few meetings presentations from many agencies and on certain topics. And the way that this assembly committee is scheduled, we have a grand opportunity because we're only within a half hour of the Senate legislative operations and elections. So for these first few meetings and any other time throughout the session where it really is applicable, we will actually be having joint meetings so that we have an opportunity to work together with this. So the next few meetings, provided that that we are able to, when it comes to the technology, we're planning on having, beginning with Thursday, the next few meetings joint together for our presentations. With that, I would like to move to the next agenda item, which is public comment. So with public comment, again, we will ask that your comments are limited to 2 minutes per person. And of course, you are also, everyone is invited in the public to submit written remarks as well. With that, I will turn it over to BPS. And to facilitate, if anyone has registered and called in, I'm also happy to wait a few moments to ensure that we have anyone connected that's interested in speaking.
Chair, at this time, the public comment line is open and there are no callers.
Okay. With that, if we have, I know we've waited a few moments. If we don't have anyone, any callers on the line, do we have any comments from any committee members before we adjourn? Okay, not seeing any comments, then this would conclude our meeting for today. Our next meeting will be again this Thursday, February 4th at 4 p.m. Again, we need to consider that we give a few minutes to log on so that we are able to make sure that everyone's sound and everything's ready to go so we can start as close to 4 o'clock as possible. It will be joint with the Senate as well on Thursday. With that, if seeing no questions, the meeting is adjourned.
Bye.
Thank you, Chair.